Well, this one's going to be really cool. I'm a rather large Jamiroquai fan. Not to tell too much about myself, but I do have a tattoo of this guy's logo. A lot of people call Jamiroquai this guy as if Jason Kay was the guy, even though Jamiroquai's the band and JK's the singer. Arguably one of the best at what he does. They used to call him the little white boy that sounds like the big black woman. They hit the scene in the 90s and just shredded it. Return of the Space Cowboy. They used to use Didgeridoo. They were a three-piece at one point. Turned into this massive ensemble with all these fantastic musicians. Really, really, really cool stuff. This particular mix, this particular version of this song, Too Young to Die, was released by the band as a remix competition in the, I can't remember what year, the 2010s. And I found out because I'm subscribed to that, and I'm like, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that. I don't know how to do a remix, making a change in the beat or whatever. But I grabbed it, and now I've got it for us to look over. It's super sick, and there's also an extended flute and trumpet solo in this, so let's jump over and have a quick look. Enjoy. So we got 27 tracks. That's what it looks like, the whole song, right? That's what it looks like when you add in this extended trumpet solo, which goes for double the length of the entire song. But we're going to go back and just check out what we can see, what we want to listen to. There'll be a few things at the start. We'll get to that. Okay, start with the kick drum. Now, let's hear it. Really pillowy. Look at those perfect transients there. Those curves. Little pillows of low end, and you can hear a little bit of snare in there, which is natural. Bit of bleeds, okay. But let's look at those. Just want to pause and just really get into one of those. Look at that. That's a gorgeous waveform. Let's take off the artificial size, but look at that. That is just straight 1 cycle, 2 cycle, 3 cycles, and a really small tail. That's amazing. It's 3 puffs of air. That's all a kick drum sound is. 3 puffs of air. Wow, at a certain volume, but that's wow. That's really, really cool. Very, very dull sounding, I suppose. Let's just have a look at what it's producing. Nothing above 1. It's nothing above 200, really. And then you got this snare here that's just peeking through. Hear that? There's just snare happening there. A bit of bleed, but it's all 50 hertz, like 55, 60. That's I think that's an E. That 60 hertz is like an E. So a lot of other things will be tuned based around that. Just going to get rid of that now. We'll just drop the snare in. Bit of hats in there, obviously, bleeding. Oh, a bit of toms in that mic. I just want to have a quick look at some of this snare as well. That's pretty cool. You can see the snare's got a little bit of see these crispier parts of this, so the sample goes up, but it's got a little bit of crispiness on there, and then down a little bit of crispiness, whereas the kick drum that we saw before, if we scroll along, not too far, let's just reduce that size. We see the kick here. The kick is super smooth. There's barely anything on there. It's just straight up and straight down, whereas these snare notes, the snare hits, have all this extra crispy flavour going on, which gives you all of those. See, look at those extra little bits of crisp. It's where all your top end information is living in those. Continue to listen. Let's hear it. And obviously there's some hats going on. Super crispy. Maybe I'll just go back to that snare really quickly. I want to just check out what that's producing. There you go. There's that 200, which is that where it was in the kick drum mic as well. Let's isolate it. And you can see it's 250 and a 500, which is double that. And then there's a little bit of a ghosty in the middle. And then a bit of a spotter in there. Okay, let's kill that. We don't need it anymore. This hi-hat's so crispy. Look at this. No low end information. A little bit of mid because of the bleed. And then all this gorgeous belling and like detail up in this area. You know what I mean? Take that away and you just got dullness. But this is where you make up for the dullness of that kick drum by having detail in other places. So we got this. Hear that? Now you've taken up the full stereo field with this gorgeous full sort of sound. Okay, that's the end of that. We'll go back to the start. But like the drum kit is not the drums are not an instrument. The individual pieces of the kit are the instrument. But when you put them all together, you get this picture of the whole sound. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we haven't even touched the overheads yet. All right, let's undo that. Let's just check out these overheads. Oh, you can hear the whole kit there. And a bit of the bass coming through. I feel like these were small diaphragm condensers. I don't know. I keep making judgments on shit that I really don't know enough about. But just from my experience using them, they don't sound like big, full. They sound like little pencils X wide. Super tight. Only picking up really tight, detailed stuff. Add in a little bit of that hi-hat. Actually, this, if you have a listen, this is an interesting thing about overheads. If you listen to your set of overheads, you can generally get the picture of what everything else is supposed to sound like. So like the panning for some of those things there, you can hear things like, where everything's situated, because those overheads are already panned left and right in this stereo track that we've got just down here. They're all situated in the right spot as far as the panning goes. So I could mix this based on the panning for the overhead track. So I can hear the hi-hats are lit in this ear, in my left ear. So I can put them over there. And then what I do is I bring them down, solo them. I feel like they're a little more that way. And there they don't, it doesn't make me want to die if I put them there, but I could move them wherever I want. But I'll turn them down and I'll have a bit of a guess at where I think it needs to be. Bring it back. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine with me. Snare and they're going to be up the middle. Cool. I'm not singing it. Okay, Shaker, let's hear it. Just by itself. I think it's an overdub take. Or maybe not. It's on the spot. Wow. Real tight too. Who have you got to be that tight? Oh, imagine being that consistent at anything in your life. Yes. Oh, there's a pattern change coming up. I'm interested. Okay. It's the pattern changes in the bleed. I love it when people say, like, I can play the shaker. It's like, no, you really can't. This guy can play the shaker. You can't. You can't play the shaker. Nowhere near as good as or as clean as this guy. Listen to this. You could quantize that. What happened there? Oh, there's an overdub. Ooh. That's interesting. Let's earmark that. Bar 53, 54. I want to hear that later. Okay. And then they've got a go-go and tambourine. This section's full of it. Let's hear it. Overdubbed because there's no bleed. I'm going to add percussion toys to this because when this comes up, but that is some sexy and very detailed sound. Sounds like it's a little far away from the... Oh, that sounds great. It sounds like it's a little bit, a step or so away from the instrument as well, because you can hear a bit of room in there. Sounds really lovely. It's definitely not close to mic. Cool, cool, cool. Wow. I'm just going to skip to this end part. Triangle. I can play the triangle. Try to play it this good. Play it this good, and then tell me you can play triangle. Triangle's so hard to play. He's going tick-tick-ding, tick-tick-ding, and he's letting go and catching it every time and holding it the right way. Tick-tick-ding. That's so hard. I can play the triangle. No, you can't. I can't play the triangle. Man, I either want to solve some crimes in the 70s or do the samba or something. Everyone knows you can't solve crimes in the 70s unless you have triangle track. Okay, here we go. A bit of bass. I'm not sure who played bass on this one. Sounds like I could just get a visual of someone playing a 5-string with active pickups or something. And like... Interesting, because there's like not a lot of top end in it, but it still sounds like there's some thwack. Look at that. It's living just above where the kick drum lives. The kick drum lives at 60 and it lives about that 80-100. And it has a little bit of like complementary, a bit of mud there that we could probably scoop out. But I bet if I put those two together, the kick and the bass, you still can talk to each other. See, they talk to each other in the right way, in the right language, the same language. Just put some stuff together. Yeah. Look at those overheads down. Shack is way too hot. Perk tracks. I'm gonna be too big. Go back a couple. Yeah, that's groovy. I'm really digging that. Alright, now this Moog bass, so we talked about this in another episode, I think it was with the Michael Jackson stuff, how synths need to be tuned, and you can see that this one here has a little bit more on the bottom than it does on the top, opposite to that Michael Jackson one with the Moog in it. Let's hear what that sounds like on its own. Oh yeah, definitely sounds a little bit phasey, doesn't it? Like it hasn't got as it's the throaty. Matt Johnson. I wonder if this is Matt Johnson's key work. Add it with the bass. So that's super cool. Just trying to add that in there. Okay, it's definitely a little hot. Check out what it's delivering. Just a little bit of a fart there on the top, which is totally fine. If Matt I'm pretty sure Matt Johnson was in the band at this time. That'll be his piano tracks, which we'll check out in a moment. But these guitar tracks now, Jamiroquai aren't known for their guitar, but it's in there. I remember talking to someone at a party, and they're like, all the metal kids in high school, and they're like, yeah, man, I love, like, you know, Switchblade for Osiris, or just some fucking name that was made up out of 3 sentences from old books, from like famous literature that wasn't, you know, of mice and men and whatever. And they're like, yeah, and I love this. They've got like 3 guitar players, and the singer sings like Elvis. And it's like Volbeat or something like that. And they're like, what do you really like, man? Like, what do you actually really love? And I'm like, Jamiroquai, actually. And they're like, oh, do they have like no guitar players? I'm like, oh, how you are mistaken, my friend. Pretty sure there's like 2 guitar players on the tour and a bass player, which would shred any of those dudes into the ground. Not like it's a competition, but very funny. Just, you know, tough boys and tough music. It's very funny. So not a whole lot going on. Let's hear it with some bass, just some flavour. So imagine learning how to play back a little bit and just relax. This guy still got paid. He still had a good time. He still went on tour with the band. You know, he had a great time. Got to play 3 notes with a wah on, baby. Yeah. Okay. I want to hear this piano now. Let's check this out. Gorgeous. Get ready, some more. Oh yeah. Yes, and some Rhodes. It's got to be Matty Johnson. I will actually, you know what, we're going to stop right here for one reason. I want you to go and have a look at Matt Johnson. Johnston, I'm sorry, Matt. Have a look at his YouTube channel, because that guy is a legend. And he, while COVID happened, he wasn't on tour. So he's like, oh, we'll stuff around in the studio and we'll film it. And he started making some fantastic videos on his collection of synths. And if I'm correct, the Moog bass in that could be his one that he had painted black, or he bought painted black and goes, I'm not going to change that. This is mine. Matt, if you ever see this, confirm for me. Drop me a comment. Would love to know. Love to have a chat, please. Would love to talk to you. And yeah, if this is you on piano and Rhodes, if not, I still want to talk to you. But yeah, great track. Would love to hear how you play it live. Let's go back into the session here and just check out some of this lovely Rhodes work. And yes, Rhodes. The key to my heart is a Rhodes or a Wurlitzer, I swear. Fender don't just make guitars, ladies and gentlemen. They make a Rhodes, baby. Yeah. All right. All right, baby. See, Rhodes makes you feel sexy. You know what I mean? I just want to sit here. Sorry, I'm just having a good time. Kill me. Kill me for having a good time. There's a whole orchestra section in here, and it's individually mic'd. I'll go back a little bit. Sorry, having too much fun. Listen to this cello. So that's, you know something's written well when you can jam out to a soloed cello track. Great. And it does not say voila, it says viola. So let's hear it. Gorgeous. Add violin 1. It's got a bit of a lead going on. It's hard to pick because they must be sitting close together. Let's hear them all together. We'll put them together. Maybe we'll give it a bit of a pan. So let's just hard pan. You know how I like it. Oh, listen to the thickness already. Wow, listen to the thickness already. All we did was turn 2 channels left and right, and we just got this great sound. This entire section, I think this entire section could come down for the overall mix. So we'll bring it back. Sing it back to me. If you ever get that, if anyone finds the multi-tracks of that song, give me Moloko. I would just have it known here. I'd give my left nut to hear those Moloko tracks from Royce on Murphy for Bring It Back. So if you've got them, I owe you a nut. So this guy not doing much on guitar. I'm going to give him a little bit of juice. Okay, we got some saxophone to get through. Sorry, I'm having too much fun and I'm wasting your time. So let's hear some saxophone. Oh, okay, let's just bounce the track. I'm going to just select this little area. And we'll go through, we'll hear some trumpet too. Trombone, let's go for the next round. Okay, now, I feel like we want to take some like sounds. I feel like trumpet and saxophone and trombone are very similar, and we can give those a bit of pan, and then have that trumpet lead through the center. I love, there's a thing in mixing called LCR, panning, left, center, right. It's so everything is either left, right, or dead center. And I find it a very simple way to make decisions. So instead of going, oh, I need to get it just like right pan, you just start with left, right, and left, center, and right, and then work your way in from there if you have to. You can get some interesting spatial things happening with just LCR. You don't have to have this detailed spatial spectrum of all these kind of things happening. Just smash them left and right. Just love a bit of pan left and right. Yeah, it's something simple. All right, let's add that in. I want to hear that with those little orchestral strings. So let's hear those together. Oh, that's fat and thick and gorgeous. Erin has just said she'd love to hear me do Moloko. Man, I'd love to have anything to do with Moloko. Go and watch. There's another thing to go and watch. Go and watch Royce on Murphy's start of COVID lockdowns doing a 15-minute version of Bring It Back to Giorgio Moroder's The Chase. Oh, was it The Chase? Yeah, something like that in her lounge room. It's fantastic. What a cooked woman. I love her. Here's the Moog top line. I want to hear what that is, because that's, I mean, it's obviously a melody, right? Yeah, more of that. This is like an old sort of G-funk sound. Like that old, just like, I'm a hazy, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Come on, let's get some more of that. Actually, here's an iconic line from that song. I feel like he's just having a good time here. Let's have a look at what's coming out of that. So a lot of your mid-range frequencies there, and you've got your harmonics above it. You can see them moving with it. Just all of that little bit of zing, but it's not too much zing. It's milky. That's a milky sound. That's not creamy. That's a milky sound, I think, I would say. What am I talking about? My goodness. Oh, yeah. It's a sweet, milky sound. That's got a bit of sugar in it. Okay, now that flute solo, man, that's... I'm gonna hit that later. Actually, no, we'll hit it now because it's before the vocals. We can go to the halfway point. Oh man, imagine playing jazz flute. Is that panpipe? No, it sounds like flute. You can hear the pads going. You can hear the pads go at the same time. You know what I mean? What's that noise again? Bit of delay on that too. You can hear it like the pipe closing. Like, you know when you go on the bottom of a pipe? Is that the flautist doing ooh, ooh, ooh? I think that is. I think that's... I didn't know anything about flute until this moment. Well, I've worked in music shops for 15 years. But listen to this. This is... That's the flautist going... Singing with the flute. That's so cool. I'm sure it's a technique and it has a name. Wow. Okay, now literally this flute solo goes for like 8 minutes. So I'm moving on. We'll go to this trumpet solo. Wow. Okay. Let's get a look at what's happening here. So again, we're sort of that mid-range. We've got a little bit more top there. We've got some spice. This is a smooth. This is probably a creamier trumpet sound than a milkier one. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Man, just imagine being half as good at anything that you wanted to ever do in your life as these guys are at playing their instrument. Like, that's amazing. So we're going to check out the vocals now, and as you know, if you're a watcher of this, I mean, I've already gone quite a bit further over time, but hey, I'm having a good time. Yeah, if you're in now, try to stay in because we normally get a bit of a strike about this point, but thanks to the awesome record labels that have seen it, and their automatic thing comes in and goes boom, this is copyrighted material. They take it away, and they release the copyright so that I can get this on. I've actually been putting them up on YouTube, so if you're checking them out on YouTube, you're actually watching them a little later because this is a Facebook live stream just for my mates. It's not on a page, it's not on anything special, it's just on my mates thing, and then I just go onto the YouTube. But if you are watching on that, do the subscribe and stuff, because one day I'll make some original content to put up with my own stuff, and if I ever break that wall, it'd be nice to have some of those advertisers' money. Thank you very much. Now let's check out Jason K, JK, the man himself. He a figure of controversy here and there. He did come to Australia once for an X Factor show and was quite rude to the contestants, which I thought was hilarious because he's a human. You can, shit happens. But what a legend, man. The guy's been through all these horrible back issues and problems, and then he still goes out to perform, and he will message, do a video message from his bed in the hospital, puffy face, looking horrible and having a bad time, and be like, guys, I'm so sorry that I can't come out. And I messaged that page, and I was like, dude, just go back to bed. Also, fun fact, JK dated Kylie Minogue for a little while too, we all know Kylie's my favourite. So that's pretty sweet. I would, loved it if they had done any music together. Let's check out some Didgeridoo vocals. Oh no, da-da-doo. Okay, well, this is part of the chorus.
Too young to
Another one. You know what to do. Pan, left and right. We've just smashed through 2 tracks because that's all that happens on those ones. Let's check out the main lead vocal.
Everybody don't want no war, no. We're too young to die. So many people all around the world, all around the world, have seen their brothers fry. I've seen your brother fry. What's the motive? In that madness, oh, I wish I knew. You've made my people cry. You made my people cry.
Man, every few years there's like posts about shit JK predicted. Virtual Insanity was another one that still people go, fuck, he was right. And this is like, it's not just too young to die like an arrogant thing. He's talking about the human race. Like, people are going to war. I'm not sure, I should know, but I'm not sure what year this was actually released. But obviously there was shit going on in the world, and JK is always writing songs about things that are happening in the world, and how you should be a little bit more thoughtful and not fucking kill people for no reason. Yeah.
So politicians,
that's right. Listen.
At this time, I think you better keep your distance. Say it loud. We're too young to do da 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 What's the answer?
What is the answer?
I wish I knew to our problems. I think we've gone too high. I think we're going too high. Let our children never said a word now. You know they never said a word. Still they have to die. Well, I'm asking why. It won't be long. No. Dancing like we do, yeah. Oh, like we do now. To put this sad one right, I gotta put it right. So don't you worry. People, we don't have to suffer no more. 'Cause we're too young to
I'm going to add this last one in for when it comes up. End of track. There's a female backing vocal here I'd like to isolate. But yeah, man, like, what a cool groove, what a funky song with a real something to say that people should fucking listen to.
You know we're too young to die. 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 You know we're too young to
That's just so sick. I mean, it's been a long time since I've cracked this one open. I mean, I'm new to Logic. Really good to see this one again and have a proper listen to it. And, just knowing a little bit more about life as you go is good to come back to things that you maybe took for granted a little bit. And this is one of those ones because I had this and it was super cool, but I mean, I just appreciate it more. Let's run the gauntlet, and I think I'd like to have a quick listen to this in this strange mixed phase just to see what happens. It comes together so gorgeously. Wow. That flute. Oh! You hear that synth come in. You know what I'm going to do to this? Just because I'm having a great time. We're going for some delay. I'm going to just, whatever that is, I don't even know. Delay design of mono stereo, who cares? And let's just hear that with a little bit of zing on it. Okay, that's too much. That's too much of whatever's going on there. Let's go for a simple pan. See what happens. Nah, not working for me. Not working for me. Let's just get rid of it. Let's get rid of it. Stop being an idiot. Let the thing run. Let the thing run. Have a good time. Okay, that flute's way too loud. No. Flute, gotta come down. Did he just hit a bung note on that synth? No. Recovery. Got some gorgeous stuff happening here. Let's just isolate that back from the kick and we'll build it up from there. Alright, bring that snare in. Hi-hat. Overheads. Feels it out. Shake it, baby. Shake it, baby. A go-go. Bass. Mode bass. Yeah, now we're singing. Oh yeah. That's the answer. I wish I knew to this problem. Alright, what I want to do here, just because I think it's the right thing to do, is you got to have a piano version of everything. And I think this is one thing on my search for a hit of how to make one. I feel like every song that you'd make should be able to be deconstructed down to the basics to be able to be enjoyed. And I feel like that involves piano and a vocal, or Rhodes and a vocal. Let's hear it.
Time, I think you better keep your distance. Say it loud. We're too young to do.
Still has all the effect I would want from the song, so I'm really happy about that. We'll get back up to there and continue to enjoy. Let's add in some of that orchestral stuff. Bit of trumpet, trombone, sax. Yeah. No top line. These are just some guys having a good time, I think, these 3 tracks. No need for all that. One at a time. Flute. Trumpet. Back to flute. Don't want to hear some of that Moog. And never the 3 shall meet. You know I'm cheeky and I like auto-tune and famous people, so let's see what JK sounds like with a really fast auto.
Don't want no war, no, 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 no. We're too young to die. So many people
He's pretty good.
all around the world, yeah, all around the world. I've seen our brothers fry. I've seen your brother fry.
Oh, who would have guessed that JK was pretty good at singing? And that is why it's okay to use auto. JK, like, you know, he wasn't falling right on all those notes, but because of the nature of the music, he's allowed to slip around a little bit and smooth, get some of those notes, just blend them together and like slide into them and stuff like that. It's part of being human. Practice with auto-tune on. I always say it. Practice singing with auto-tune on. You'll get better at it. And then take it away. And if it sounds good with the song, it's good. What a great thing. That's why it took so long to just take my time and nibble every little piece of that, because I really, really enjoyed the taste of everything. Wow, what a cool song, what a cool track, what a cool multi-track session to have a look through. I'm very happy about that. Very, very happy about that. Yeah, thank you so much. Let's, if you've got any ideas on how to make a hit, let's put them together. And we'll make some hits, and we'll listen to some hits. We'll pull them apart just like this. There's a few more coming. I think I'm doing a Coolio track next. Keep your eye for that. The Michael Jackson one's going nuts. Everyone's really, really enjoying that. So, thank you very much. GFY, and yeah, bye.